Hi, I'm Matt.
Hey, I'm Bianca.
And we are from Club Sapphire. And this time, actually, we wanted to talk about something that you brought up that seems to be a topic in conversation with you often.
Okay, so thinking about events, like when you come to a party, whether it's here or somewhere else, and maybe you are shy or maybe you're not and you just haven't clicked with a couple yet, and you go into a room where there's all the mattresses and you see all the play going on.
Right.
And where do you go from there? Like, we've been in situations where we're on a bed and there's, like 10, 12 of us that we've already established a connection.
Right.
And we might play with several people within that group, or we might not, whatever, but it's just like we've created this connection with them.
Right.
So you're this random couple that comes in, or what happens when there's this random couple that comes in and just watches. So there's two sides to this. There's the random couple, and what is going on with them, and then there's you guys, this group of 10, but the people in the group of 10. Okay, so for example, we went to a party once, and we were a group of like 8, 10, something like that. I don't remember how many people exactly.
Was this on the cruise, or was this
no,
in
it was a
California?
mansion.
We went to a mansion party,
right,
down in LA, which is pretty awesome.
So we're there, and I'm pretty sure I connected with at least 2 guys.
Yeah, there were 6 of us in our group.
Okay, and so, like, we were playing and everything, and there was a point where we're on our bed, and this not odd, but random couple came in,
right,
and they're just watching, which, like, none of us seem to have a problem with. Obviously, we're in an open space. We're not in a closed space. If you're in an open space, you don't mind people watching, right? But then when they start to get handsy and like invite themselves in, that's where like I have issue with it. So, they come in and they go, go over to the bed, and then, the husband's like, sit on the bed to his wife or partner. Maybe touch her. He's like directing this to try and get them in there somehow.
Right.
And I have a problem with that. I do. Now, I know not everybody does.
Well, why do you have a problem with it?
Because I am the type of person, I need some sort of a connection. I don't want a random person coming up and touching me and thinking they can fuck me, because are they going to use a condom? Am I attracted to them? Like, what? We haven't even had a conversation, and all of a sudden you're trying to get your hands all over me?
Okay.
I am not okay with that. So, as this other couple, so take out of me and my group, now we're back in this random couple that came into this room.
Okay.
How do you handle that? What do you do? Because we have been on cruises where people don't mesh up with people at dinner or whatever. Like, you're just like, you're this couple and you're like, we need to find someone to have fun with, but we don't know anybody here because we didn't come with a big group. What do you do? So we've heard from people that do go get they just wander around the playrooms and just try and find someone in the playroom, because there could be other people at the playroom, like you and I. We didn't meet up with anybody, so we're just playing by ourselves on this bed. This other couple comes in, they're like, hey, how's it going? Let's join in. Some people are okay with that.
And we have been, historically, there have been scenarios where you and I have been, kind of waiting to go into the playroom, and another hot couple just happens to start talking to us like right then, and we go and play with them and have a good time. I mean, that's only happened a couple of times, but it has happened, and that has been okay, but you're saying that's not really your jam.
Well, it's not my jam, but my point is, it could be someone's jam. My point is, as that extra couple, how do you navigate that? I'm not saying that this extra couple is a bad couple. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with them.
Okay.
I'm saying, what advice can we give to that couple to be successful? Going and, in my opinion, going and just directing your partner to sit on the bed and start touching. Just because she's a woman, she should be able to touch anybody she wants. That's not true. I'm not bi, so I don't want to necessarily be touched by another woman.
Okay.
I'm not going to run screaming. I'd rather be touched by her than him, probably.
Right.
Because, yes, it does feel kind of safer or whatever. But,
well, that's the thinking process behind it, from their perspective.
I'm sure. But there's still the permission, right?
Mm-hmm.
We still need to be asked. So this group has already established some sort of a connection.
Right.
So then you go and bring in this outside two people. This group may not be okay with the outside couple.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the groups will be like, yeah, more merrier, get on in here, we don't care, puppy pile, hey, and that's fine.
Right.
But you have to find the right group that's already started.
Mm-hmm.
How do you do that?
Okay, so what they should do in that situation?
Sure, what should you do in that situation?
Well, I think that the couple itself, like you had said, there's nothing wrong with what they're doing. If we were that couple and we didn't connect with anybody, but not only that, there are a lot of couples that don't want any connections.
Mm-hmm.
All right, they want to go into a situation with, I don't know anybody, nobody here knows who I am. That's an attractive couple to us. Hopefully they think we're attractive. Let's basically ask if we can join them.
Right.
And it's just as simple as that.
Exactly.
It's hey, do you mind if we join you? And their answer is yes or no. I mean, it's
And I'm sure if you stood there for a bit, someone in that group of 6 or 8 or 10 or whatever is going to notice you and be like, hey, come on over,
or if
they might just invite you in before you even had a chance to
Mm-hmm.
ask.
Mm-hmm.
But my issue is with the whole touching and trying to get in there without being asked. Because we have been in situations before on one of our cruises where it was just 4 of us. And I was with another guy and you were with another girl. And this other couple comes and he has her sit on the bed and has her start touching. And you're totally fine with that. I'm not.
Right.
And so I'm moving further. I'm the type of person that I'm I'll move away from you. And then I'll move away from you a little bit more, and then after that, I'm going to say something to someone.
Right.
So you get two hints, and then after that, it's.
And I would think body language.
And I would
in
hope
itself.
the body language and that, but I did have to say something to my partner. I'm not okay with this, and then it's up to him to make it stop. And he did, and it was all fine. It worked out fine, but I do feel like, as the woman, and not all women some of them are way more bolder than I am, and they can be like, get off me, dude, or whatever.
Right.
But for me, it's when I am with a person, I personally don't do well with the swapping around. I want to be with one person and focus on that person and our experience, and having outside distractions doesn't really work for me.
Right.
And so I want to be comfortable saying to that person, can you take care of this?
Sure.
So that they will take care of what's going on. And, most of the time I've never had a guy who wasn't okay with that because they're pretty content with what we're doing and what's going on, and they don't want me to be like, you know what, I'm out because I'm creeped out. So they'll take care of the situation before I get creeped out and walk away.
Well, hopefully they're also paying attention to how you are acting.
Right.
And seeing that
my body language has changed, all that kind of stuff has changed because of what's going on. Right?
Exactly. So if they're aware of how you're acting, that they should be able to take charge and say, hey, she doesn't seem comfortable with this, or no thank you, or whatever it might be to get them to move on.
Well, and you've even been in an experience with, I remember I think it was at that mansion party where you were with another woman and some random guy came up and tried to get her to give him a blowjob, and you asked her, I remember you asking her, are you okay with this? And she said no. And then you asked the guy to back off. I don't remember where it was. I remember it was some situation where you were very good at taking care of the partner that you're with, making sure that they're very comfortable.
Right, yeah. So this was a situation at this mansion party where I was with this woman, and I was paying attention to the rest of the room, as I often do in crowded situations because of comfort levels, and is someone going to do something wrong, and I'm kind of a protective guy in general, and I saw that this man was kind of pushing his wife closer to us and standing we're having sex right here on the bed, and they're just kind of standing right over, and he he's pushing his wife to put her hand on the woman and just kind of using the woman as a tool for him to have sex and eventually get in here. Which, if we would have been okay with that would have been fine. A little weird way to do it, but that's okay if we would have been okay with that.
But I feel like there would have been more of an invitation.
Right, but I definitely see if the woman I was with was okay with that. I was the wife in that situation was very hot. And I didn't know her. I had never talked to her, but I would have been okay with that. I mean, obviously, I didn't know the woman that I was with if she would have been okay, but that was my job to say, hey, are you okay with the fact that she's kind of like right there? And she wasn't. And I said, yeah, we're going to play over here, and told them that. And they were perfectly fine with that, nice and polite and all that kind of thing. And that's how we were able to move on. And I understand that a lot of couples will use people are playing already as not a ticket, but as a kind of an entryway into saying, hey, maybe they might want to play with us. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Just be aware of the obvious signs that they might not be interested in that. It's funny that you bring this up. I don't know if I've told this story before, but it's always one of those funny stories. When we were actually on a lifestyle cruise a few years ago, there were 8 or 10 of us in the group, and we were in one of the playrooms, and we were, and the playrooms on these things are just these giant rooms with 50 queen-size beds, all just kind of lined up with these thin curtains behind and between them, and that type of thing. And we were all playing for a while, and at one point, Bianca finished with whatever guy she was playing with and went to the bathroom, and I'm like, okay, I'll see you back in a few minutes. And then a few minutes later, Blonde comes over and starts, joining in and playing with us and all that. And all of us assumed it was Bianca until the husband of this woman came over and said, honey, come here. And we all grabbed her and pulled her away. And we're like, oh, wow, that wasn't Bianca. It was just some woman who decided to join us because there was a big crowd and people weren't paying attention. Which makes for a funny story. But at that time, it's totally not okay to do that. But oftentimes there are women who feel that because they are a woman, they actually have a little bit more leeway to ask for forgiveness and permission. And this was one of those scenarios where...
Well, no, I think she was just really drunk.
Well, that might very well be the case. But if it would have been a guy just joining in, suddenly, he starts going down on a woman and, and the woman is like, who is this? Or she's busy, so she doesn't even realize who's doing that. That could obviously end up being a problem because you don't know, the husband could just flip out and punch the guy in the face. And that
group thing, it's important, especially if like the 8 of you went back to a playroom to play. It's important to pay attention to everybody in the surroundings and what's going on, specifically the men, and paying attention to the women, and making sure that everybody is accounted for and safe and comfortable,
right?
Because you want those women to have a good experience, because we are the key to this whole lifestyle, right? If we decide that we don't want to do this anymore, well, then you're done. It doesn't work without us.
Right.
So making sure that we are 100% comfortable in every situation that we're in, that's an important thing. That everybody kind of needs to watch out for everybody. And I'm not saying the women are totally helpless and ridiculous either. I watch out for other women when I'm in a group situation or whatever. I'm watching my friends or whoever I'm with or whatever and making sure that we're all safe. And if I saw a weird random guy come in and my friend wasn't paying attention, or the girl that I just met wasn't paying attention or whatever, I'd say something, because I don't want her to not have a great experience. Everybody should leave having an amazing experience and wonderful memories. That's the whole point of this, right? So you just got to watch out for each other, and make sure that everybody is safe in every way.
Right. And, places like Sapphire are wonderful. I mean, we say this all the time, but people are so aware of everyone else in a positive way that... we never hear about negative situations like this here because people are just kind of so on the ball. If if someone's making you feel uncomfortable, it's easy enough for someone else to just kind of get in the way and just be like, hey, how you doing? And kind of block that type of issues that might come, or if someone was drinking too much or whatever it might be. People are just really, really good. And I'd say that about people in the lifestyle in general, that they are very good at being aware of just everyone else's comfort level. But things do happen, and so it's important actually that we have these conversations about the fact that things can go a little weird, and if you're just kind of aware that they might happen, that in this situation that the husband could be more, or the guy that the woman is with could just be more aware of who else is in the room in case something becomes problematic, in that, it's not difficult to say, no thank you, or
right. Well, and think about it this way too. If you're with someone else, wouldn't you want whoever I'm with to make sure that I am safe and comfortable and happy?
Right.
So that you should treat that person's spouse or partner like you would want me to be treated.
Exactly.
And that other man that I'm with should be treating me the way he wants his partner to be treated. So he wants Matt to make sure that she's comfortable and happy and safe. The other guy should feel the exact same way about me, making sure I'm comfortable, happy, and safe.
Exactly.
And if we all do that, then we'll have a good time and keep all the unwanted things out.
Exactly.
And there's nothing wrong with having a conversation either, like when the whole thing gets started with like for me, if I were to say to this group of 7 other people, okay, so just so everybody is on the same page as me, I'm comfortable with you and you, but if anybody else tries to join us, you guys are fine with that, but like I'm not. So it's okay to tell your partner that you're with, hey, whatever goes on between you and I is great, but I just want you to know I'm not okay with anybody else joining in. And then they're fully aware that here are your limits, here are your rules, and they will happily, very happily help you.
Not only that, but they'll be excited that you're going to focus on them, that you're not going to 5 minutes in start turning your head and going somewhere else.
Yeah.
And that's kind of cool in itself. So, well, excuse me, make sure you follow Club Sapphire on Twitter. They have a really popular Twitter account. It's growing every single day. Of course, you can follow them on Facebook, the Sapphire Network. And, of course, they do have a secret group that if you haven't joined it, if you've been here before, if you're a member here, then definitely ask anyone, and they'll have you join the group, too. And there's a lot of great conversations that happen every day on there about the lifestyle, and you can meet people beforehand if you are planning on coming out here. Of course, go to www.clubsapphire.net, which is their website that has a list of all the events that are coming up. There are some fantastic Saturday night parties with the costumes and the dress up that we love.
Always
and of course,
fun.
Every Friday of the month there's something new going on. And of course, Sundays are now a party as well. So you can come out, and of course Wednesdays, which is right when we're filming this too. So lots of stuff going on. So anything else you want to say?
No, I think you said it all.
All right, perfect. Well, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.